As I sat in my room trying to concentrate on the third act of Macbeth, I was really listening from my truck. I would have thought, even over the pounding rain, I could have heard its engine roar, but when I went to peek out the curtain, again, it was suddenly there.
Suddenly truck.
Yeah, just don't even act like she's going to understand Macbeth. She is not going to understand
Well, that's
anything.
not the point of the story, her understanding Macbeth.
No.
This story's scary.
I wasn't looking forward to Friday, and it more than lived up to my non-expectations. Of course, there were the fainting comments. Jessica especially seemed to get a kick out of that story. Luckily, Mike had kept his mouth shut, and no one seemed to know about Edward's involvement. She did have a lot of questions about lunch, though.
It's a good thing she keeps her romance with Edward a secret from everybody so that when he rejects her, she can get upset.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these questions was...
So, what did Edward and Colin want yesterday? Jessica asked, intrigued.
I don't know, I answered truthfully. He never really got to the point.
You look kind of mad, she said, or she finished.
Did I? I kept my expression blank.
You know, I've never seen him sit with anyone but his family before. That was weird.
Weird. I agreed. She seemed annoyed. She flipped her dark curls impatiently. For some reason. I guessed she'd been hoping to hear something that would make a good story for her to pass on, because, yeah, that's what dick friends do, I guess.
Pass it on. I'm gonna gossip on you. The worst part about Friday was that even though I knew he wasn't gonna be there, I still hoped. And when I walked into the cafeteria with Jessica and Mike, I couldn't keep from looking at his table where Rosalie, Alice, Jasper sat talking, heads close together. I couldn't stop. The gloom that engulfed me as I realized I didn't know how long I was going to have to wait before I saw him again.
Hey, do you guys ever do that thing where if one of the characters in the book it has the same name as somebody you know in real life, you just sort of put them in the story?
No.
Maybe? I don't know.
Well, because Roz has a cat named Jasper, and...
Well, so now you're just picturing a cat. Okay.
Yes, just sitting at the table.
Meow!
Meow!
At my usual table, everyone was full of our plans for the next day. Mike was animated again, putting up a great deal of trust.
It's a cartoon! Oh, no!
He's Bendy! He's Bendy! He'll kill us
What
all!
kind of animation?
Take
on me!
Take on me!
Is my character?
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Putting up a great deal of trust in the local weatherman who promised sun tomorrow. I'd have to see that before I believed it. But it was warmer today, almost 60. Maybe the outing wouldn't be
But it
completely
snowed.
Does it rain, like, all the time in Washington, Dave?
Yeah, it rains quite a bit.
Okay, because it's been
more-
raining the last 3 chapters here.
Probably more in Forks because it's a little higher up Mount Olympus.
Okay.
So, what was the point of putting this kind of elaboration into the weather?
Because I guess when next she sees Edward, he's going to be sparkly. I don't know.
They're going to a party.
Maybe she couldn't think of anything else to talk about, so she's like, the weather.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's Bella talking. I intercepted a few unfriendly glances from Lauren during lunch, which I didn't understand until we were all walking out of the room together. I was right behind her, just a foot from her slick, silver blonde hair, and she was evidently unaware of that.
She's a Targaryen.
Don't know why Bella. She sneered my name. Well, then she's a dick. She'd go fuck herself and sit somewhere else.
Don't know why, Bella.
Doesn't just sit with the Cullens from now on. This lady can go F herself.
How
I
generic.
heard her muttering to Mike. He came out of the cartoon and started dancing around some more. I'd never noticed what an unpleasant nasally voice she had, and I was surprised by the malice in it. I really didn't know her that well at all. Certainly not well enough for her to dislike me, or so I thought. She's my friend. She sits with us, Mike whispered back loyally. Did I miss something?
Chapter break. Yeah.
Who?
Trampling on my words, boy.
What?
She's my friend. She sits with, I'm probably looking at a different document than you guys.
You
right?
are, yeah.
Okay, so that was a different paragraph.
Oh, okay. Well,
go
it
ahead.
goes, she's my friend. She sits with us. Mike whispered back loyally, but also a bit territorially. I paused to let Jess and Angela pass me. I didn't want to hear anymore.
Is the author trying to make Bella sound like an intellectual?
No.
No.
Bella's a sociopath.
This
Maybe
is
even a
I think that's
psychopath.
probably
This has
probably
nothing to do with making her sound intellectually. It has to do with, she really doesn't have any friends and they're jealous of her going out with possibly Cullen. These girls are dicks. You should feel sorry for Bella.
I know that. It's just she's using words that are a little too big for someone with such a small brain.
Fair
enough.
I don't know. Okay. That night at dinner, Charlie seemed enthusiastic about my trip to La Push in the morning.
I was always looking for a guy named Charlie, but we never did find him.
He's in Vietnam somewhere. I think he felt guilty for leaving me home alone on the weekends, but he'd spent too many years. And wait a second, you've done the Charlie joke every single time we've done a chapter of this book.
Have I?
Can we
Has he?
retire Charlie
I
back
don't
to the
remember.
jungle?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Okay, if Dave says so. I'm going to retire Charlie to the jungle.
Actually, Dave is right. I remember that being used multiple times.
Okay.
Does she not have a sense of humor?
I
Who?
think he felt guilty for
Never mind.
for leaving me home on the weekend. But he'd spent too many years building his habit to break them now. Of course, he knew the names of all the kids going, and their parents, and their grandparents, too, and probably the pastor, probably the next of kin.
The goldfish.
The cat with the hat on its head.
Realtor that
keep
sold
that
the
cat
land.
that away. Yes. What kind of property they own, whether or not they also own people, things like that.
If they had a
He
401k.
401k, very important, especially this time of year. He seemed to approve. I wondered if he would approve of my plan to ride to Seattle with Edward Cullen. Not that I was going to tell him. No.
Scandalous.
Wait, no.
Dad, do you know a place called Goat Rocks or something like that? I think it's south of Mount Rainier.
What a bitch.
I don't have a personality of any kind.
She's a bitch. She calls him Dad when she wants something, but every other time she calls him by his first name.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Why?
I shrugged. Yeah, some kids were talking about camping there.
It's not a very good place for camping. He sounded surprised. Too many bears. Most people go there during the hunting season.
Oh,
It's
no, not
amazing.
Mars.
I got a question.
Yes.
I may have already asked this, but why does she hate her dad?
She doesn't hate her
'Cause
dad
she's
as
an
far as I
angsty
know.
We just sort of invented this.
No,
Yeah.
she's complained about her parents. She's an angsty
Yeah.
teen.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's just that it's not really a hate. It's just like they're annoying, really.
She's an angsty teen. She's at that age where everyone starts hating their parents.
You're
I
a
never
bitch,
hated
girl.
my parents.
I didn't hate my parents.
I had that phase where I hated my parents.
Real
I still
world.
hate one of them.
Oh dear.
Oh, I muttered. Maybe I got the name wrong.
I went to sleep in, but unusual brightness woke me. I opened my eyes to see a clear yellow light streaming through my window. I couldn't
Oh,
believe
so it's
it.
the next day now. Wow, there was like...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it just seemed jarring that like she's in the... Okay, I don't know. I'm not an author. I
Yeah,
don't write.
I mean there should
But it
be
just
like
seemed
an
jarring. She's in
extra
the middle of a
space.
conversation with her dad and suddenly awake.
Yeah, maybe she's talking to her dad in bed.
Oh my.
Which, if anybody wants to write incest, I will totally read that. I know no shame.
Now go to sleep and don't mind my probing fingers.
I would prefer some, like, mutual consent incest. Not that kind, but okay.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. Nah, I'm doing the southern accent thing, damn it. Whatever. I hurried to my window to check, and sure enough, there was the sun. It was in the wrong place in the sky, too. What?
What?
It was upside down. No!
You can tell the sun where to go stick it somewhere.
Black hole sun.
You want
won't
crack,
you
Sheldon?
come?
Just telling me that maybe you woke up a little early when you meant to sleep in is enough. You don't have to, like, just throw it, because that seems so awkward to say. Or even think, oh, the sun's in the wrong place. Instead of rising from the east, it's over there in the west. Go figure.
I know. What is up with that?
Can't be in the wrong place.
Apparently it can.
I thought Jenna was stupid.
Jenna is stupid. This is dumb too. Too low, and it didn't seem to be as close as it should be. What are you fucking talking about? The sun
What is she fucking talking about? That makes no sense.
What time of year is this supposed to be? It's like cold enough for snow, but like
well,
it's
they
spring.
live in the mountains, keep in mind, so it could snow later in the year than or
I
earlier
guess.
in the year.
I mean, it was 90-degree weather, and the mountains still had icicles, which was weird, and I didn't know that was a thing that could happen.
But like, it is a very strange thing to point out. It's like the sun is not in the right place, and it's not as close as
it's
it
like
usually
the
is.
apocalypse happened overnight. Anyway, but it was definitely the sun, and it was like somebody like pushed the sun up farther away from the earth. I guess God was having a terrible day. Whatever.
It's all the sun's fault.
Sneezed.
Clouds ringed. Ringed?
Cassie?
Yes.
I want that sound of a zapper fake sneezing into the microphone isolated, if that's all right with you.
Okay. Why are you
I
doing
need
it
it
with
for
all
my
these?
rap album.
Okay. Okay.
He's doing an LP.
I didn't know there was a fetish for sneezing, but now I know.
Oh, you didn't?
Just
No.
Yeah, there's a sneeze fetish.
Okay.
Yes, everything can be a fetish.
Yes.
I was so shocked
Yes,
the
but
day
there-
I found
there
out
are
about the sneeze
things-
fetish. I was just like, oh my god.
There are just things like that escape my mind about being sexy, but if people think it's sexy, good for them, I guess. Clouds ringed the horizon, but a large patch of blue was visible in the middle. I lingered by the window as long as I could, afraid that if I left, the blue would disappear again.
Oh, there's no comma. She forgot.
I know, that's why I put a comma in there.
The Newton's Olympic Outfitters store was just north of town. I'd seen this.
Hold on, Zapper.
Hmm?
When people want to say the Newton's Olympic Outfitter Store for short, how would that acronym read?
No.
Okay, I thought it was funny. Nobody else does. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought there was like some like naughty acronym there.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, it'd just be no.
The Newton's Olympic Outfitter store was just north of town. I'd seen the store, but I'd never stopped there before, not having much need for any supplies required for being outdoors over an extended period of time. In the parking lot, I recognized Mike's Suburban and Tyler's Sentra. As I pulled up next to their vehicles, I could see the group standing around in front of the Suburban. Eric was there, along with 2 other boys I had class with, whose names are not important. I was fairly sure their names were Ben and Connor. God damn it! Why wouldn't she just say, like, who's,
Stepped in it, did you?
Yeah.
Mm.
Jess was there, flanked by Angela and Lauren. 3 other girls stood with them, including one I remembered falling over in gym on Friday. The one that gave me a dirty look as I got out of the, sorry, I got thrown off by Ben and Connor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one gave me a dirty look as I got out of the truck and whispered something to Lauren. Lauren shook her corn silk hair and eyed me.
You can
Scornfully.
just say what color of hair they are, or just leave it out and just say she shook out her hair and eyed me scornfully. That's fine.
I'm going on a vacation with a bunch of people that hate me.
It's gonna be fun!
Maybe I'll be the first one to die, like in Pod People.
Pod people, pod people. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, so whatever.
It's okay. Nobody does.
So, it was going to be one of those days.
Maybe you should tell them all to fuck off and go do whatever you want.
No, because
Yeah.
it's high school, and everybody's melodramatic in high school.
If I didn't want to go to something, I didn't fucking go. And that was when I was in high school.
Yeah, I went to something I didn't want to go to if I got paid for it.
Well, that'd be a little different. I never got paid, though.
I think that's a definition of work.
Didn't really work out. But
At least Mike was happy to see me.
You came! All
So
over
did
the hood of my
I!
car! Yay! He called, delighted, obviously. And I said it would be sunny today, didn't I? Are you a meteorologist?
I told you I was coming, I reminded him.
we're just waiting for Lee and Samantha. Unless you invited someone. Mike had it.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a Spanish accent, but it was not.
Hey, I wasn't trying to do Spanish accent, alright? That would be racist.
Oh, okay.
Sounded good.
Well, I was trying to be not racist by just saying Spanish in general.
Spanish?
Latino.
Latino, okay.
They know we're tolerant. I
Damn,
don't think.
I hope they do, otherwise I will get angry emails.
No, I lied lightly, hoping I wouldn't get caught in a lie.
Why do you have to lie about anything?
Don't lie.
Just like, hey, I invited Colin, he might show up, he might not, who knows?
Move
But
right along.
also wishing that a miracle would occur and Edward would appear. Yay! Bring the boy band member.
Michael, looked satisfied.
Will you ride in my car? It's that one or Lee's mom's minivan.
Sure.
He smiled blissfully. It was so easy to make Mike happy. What was the point of the sentence?
That he's into her, and she's just like, he's easily happy.
Yeah, Mike is a boy. He's very easy to make happy.
Can I put my dick in your vagina? Maybe.
A strong wind could make Mike happy at this age.
The strong smoke can make Mike happy.
his pants.
The powder on the table can make Mike happy.
What the hell are we talking about now?
I don't know. Okay, no. Who's next?
It's
Kassie.
me.
Okay.
You can have shotgun, he promised. I hid my chagrin. Okay. It was simple. Yes. You've said this. You don't need to say it again. It wasn't as simple to make Mike and Jessica happy at the same time. I could see Jessica glowering at us now. Because she's a dick.
The numbers worked out in my favor, though. Lee brought 2 extra people, and suddenly every seat was necessary. I managed to wedge Jess in between Mike and me in the front seat of the Suburban. Mike could have been more graceful about it, but at least Jess seemed appeased.
Because it's not like I could be like, I'm not into the guy you like. He just, just so you know, if you want me to go, I can, because I don't really want to be here anyway.
It was only 15 miles to La Push from Forks, with gorgeous, dense green forests edging the road most of the way, and the wide, river snaking beneath it twice. I was glad I had the window seat. We'd rolled the windows down. The Suburban was a bit claustrophobic with 9 people in it, and I tried to absorb as much sunlight as possible, for I was not a vampire.
I've been to the beaches around La Push many times during my 4th summer with Charlie. So the mile-long crescent of the first beach was familiar to me. It was still breathtaking. The water was dark gray, even in the sunlight. White-capped harbor heaving to the gray. What's so funny? Islands rose out of the steel harbor waters with sheer cliffs, sides reaching to, oh my god,
Keep going, keep going.
On and on and on.
No, you've got an entire half a page long paragraph here.
Oh, Lord.
Ground is austere soaring birds. The beach had only you sound just like Jenna right now. The beach had only a thin border of actual sea at the
I don't think she would use the word austerite or whatever the hell that word is.
Yeah, but remember, Jenna put excessive detail into stuff that
On
nobody
stuff that she cared about.
You get my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. After which it grew into millions of large, smooth stones that looked uniformly gray from a distance, but up close, where every shade a stone could be.
Oh my
Terracotta, sea green. Oh, fuck you. The timeline was strewn with huge driftwood trees, bleached bone, white sand, in the salt waves, some piled together against the edge of the forest fringe, some lying solitary, fuck you, author, just out reach of the waves. There was a brisk wind coming off the waves, cool and briny. Pelicans floated on the swells, while seagulls and a lone eagle wheeled above them. The clouds still circled in the sky, threatening to invade any fuck you, author, but for now, the sun shone bravely in its halo of blue sky. Oh
Man,
my
I got
God.
I know
What the
like
hell?
what she's doing, and I'm getting Charles Dickens like flashbacks. But William Shakespeare once said brevity is the soul of wit, and I could have written that entire paragraph with, she got to the bluffs, the gorgeous bluffs that were every shade of color you could imagine. They're done.
Yep.
Well, I don't think Stephanie is trying to be witty.
No.
No. We picked our way down to the beach. You picked it.
Yeah, they had
How?
to forge a trail.
I guess.
Okay, so first she writes that long-ass elaborate paragraph, and now this.
Yes. It's not important anymore. So we're just gonna, yeah. Mike leading the way to a ring of driftwood logs that had obviously been used for parties like ours before. How is it obvious? You don't care enough to explain that, but you will the drive to the beach? Okay. There was a fire circle already in place, filled with black ashes. Eric and the boy I thought was named Ben, yeah.
Okay. What? If we're going to change the names of the characters now.
No, this was, Ben and...
Jerry.
Yeah, sure.
Connor.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Jeremy and Jamal.
Gathered broken branches of driftwood from the pier piles against the forest edge? But you're at the beach.
Yeah. The tree line is what I think they mean. Okay.
And soon had a TP-shaped construction built atop the old cinders.
That's racist. You can't say TP.
But what if they're talking about their
Or
TPs?
wigwam. You can't say wigwam either. Powwow. Powwow is also insensitive.
Have you ever seen a driftwood fire? Mike asked me. I was sitting on one of the bone-colored benches. The other girls clustered, gossiping excitedly on either side of me. Mike kneeled by the fire, lighting one of the smaller sticks with a cigarette lighter.
No, I said as I placed the blazing twig carefully against the teepee.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's bad.
You're a genius, fella. You'll like this. Then watch the colors. He lit another small branch and laid it alongside the first. He's gonna blame. He's gonna burn it down. The flames started to lick quickly up the dry wood.
It's blue, I said in surprise.
The salt does it. Pretty, isn't it? He lit one more piece and placed it where the fire hadn't yet caught, and then came in to sit by me. Thankfully, Jess was on his other side. She turned to him and claimed his attention. I watched the strange blue-green flames crackle towards the sky.
After a half hour of chatter, some of the boys wanted to hike to the nearby tidal pools. It was a dilemma. On the one hand, I loved the tide pools. They had fascinated me since I was a child. They were one of the only things I ever looked forward to when I had come to Forks. On the other hand, I had also fallen into them a lot. Not a big deal when when you're 7 and with your dad. It reminded me of Edward's request that I not fall into the ocean.
Did he make that request? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
How did she claim his attention?
By chatting him up.
Sticking her
Probably.
tits in her face.
That usually works for me.
Actually, I'd probably punch you if you tried to put your tits in my face.
Yeah, Dave, put your tits away.
You don't know what I. You don't know what I.
Let me holster the bazoombas.
Lauren was the one who made my decision for me. She didn't want to hike, and she definitely wearing the wrong shoes for it. Most of the other girls, besides Angela and Jessica, decided to stay on the beach as well. I waited until Tyler and Eric had committed to remaining with him before I got up quietly to join the pro hiking group. Mike gave me a huge smile when he saw that I was coming.
The hike wasn't too long, though I hated to lose the sky in the woods. Then why don't you just go, do your own thing and everybody else can go fuck off or something?
You underestimate intelligence, Alder.
The green light of the forest was strangely at odds with the adolescent laughter. You guys are in high school, you're not adolescents anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're kind of brain
Hey, get
when they're all
this.
together.
Stephanie Meyer, like Jenna, wrote Twilight based on her dream.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well, MIL was supposed to be the whole dream, while Twilight's just something based on stupid shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
too murky and ominous to be in harmony with the light banter around me. Wait, what?
No, you're thinking light as in the opposite of the darkness. They means light as in careful and easy.
I know, but I've never been in the woods where how would that be at odds with laughter and banter?
Because the woods would sort of create an ominous sort of feeling.
I'm assuming what she meant to say was that the peaceful green light of the forest was at odds with the adolescent laughter, but she didn't.
I still fail to see how this is contrasting, but okay. I had to watch each step I took very carefully, avoiding roots below and branches above. And I soon fell behind. Eventually, I broke through the emerald confines of the forest and found the rocky shore again. It was low tide, and a tidal river flowed past us on its way to the sea. Along its pebbled banks, shallow pools that never completely drained were teeming with life.
I was very cautious not to lean too far over the little ocean ponds. The others were fearless, leaping over the rocks, perching perilously on...
Perching.
Preaching. Well, perching perilously on the edge.
Precariously.
Oh, fucking God, you guys are throwing me off, Dave. Okay, perching precariously on the edges, I found a very stable-looking rock on the fringe of one of the largest pools and sat there cautiously, spellbound by the natural aquarium below me. The bouquets of brilliant...
Anemones?
Oh God, I don't know.
I think that's
anemones...
something like that, yes.
Undulated ceaselessly in the invisible current. Twisted shells scurried about the edges, obscuring all crabs within them. Starfish stuck motionlessly to the rocks and to each other, while one small black eel with white racing stripes wove through the bright green weeds, waiting for the sea to return. I was completely absorbed, except for one small part of my mind that wondered what Edward was doing right now.
Because
And
we always
trying
have
to
to tie every fucking thing back to the boy that doesn't really like you, but you're obsessed about.
And trying to imagine what he would be saying if he were here with me.
You're a fucking idiot, and I'm going to secretly laugh at you because it's like my own private little joke that you're a moron.
She's dumber than Peter Griffin, isn't she?
I don't know. I haven't watched that show.
Yeah. Finally, the boys were hungry, and I got up to stiffly to follow them back. I tried to keep up better this time through the woods, so naturally I fell a few times. I got some shallow scrapes on my palms, and the knees of my jeans were stained green, but it could have been worse.
We've already established that she's like a colossal, like, klutz, right? Like,
Yes.
she's
Yeah,
not very good at doing anything.
Somehow she continues to exist, though, but if she was that level of stupid, they would, like, assign her a guardian or something.
With floaties and a helmet.
Who goes now?
Yep.
Levi?
It's Levi's turn.
Okay, where am I?
When we got back.
Okay. When we got back to the first beach, the group we left behind had multiplied. Oh my. As we got closer, we could see the Shining. Yeah. Oh, not that Shining. The shining straight black hair and copper skin of the newcomers, teenagers from the reservation, came to socialize. God,
Oh, is this where we
I
meet?
can't wait until I get to read for one of the reservation kids.
Is this
Yay,
where
they
we meet
found
Jacob?
forest Indians.
I really hate how she tries to sensationalize everything in this fucking book.
I don't know that that's being sensational.
They're trying to make it dramatic, exciting, just...
No,
And
this
she's
is very
the
dope.
complete
I'm not
opposite.
engaged at all.
No, not really.
She does the complete opposite. She makes this boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The
Because
food.
that's what she was trying to do here. I can tell.
Well, I don't think I don't
think
this is
she
a
was
Western.
trying to
It's
make
not
it
like they're in
boring.
covered
I
wagons
just
and
don't
have
think
to
she
be
knows what the
people
hell
with
she's
it.
doing.
No.
The food.
All right. That's good. Continue.
I'm trying to, but everybody keeps talking.
Sorry.
The food was already being passed around, and the boys hurried to claim a share while Eric introduced us as we each entered the driftwood circle. So you entered the fire?
Yay!
I think she means the driftwood they were using as benches around the fire.
Yay! I wouldn't mind seeing her
On fire?
first in the play.
figure.
Angela and I were the last to arrive, and as Eric said our names, I noticed the younger boy sitting on the stones near the fire glance up at me in interest. I sat down next to Angela, and Mike brought us sandwiches and an array of sodas to choose from, while the boy who looked to be the oldest of the visitors rattled off the names of the 7 others with him. All I caught was
please
that...
tell me we get to hear every single one of them.
Everyone
in
loves
detail.
Bella.
All I caught was that one of the girls was also named Jessica, and the boy who noticed me was named Jacob.
Bum, bum, bum.
Crazy werewolf sex!
Everyone loves Bella.
No,
Who's
Zach.
claiming that they love Bella in this
Oh.
story?
Everyone loves Bella and drools over her.
No, everybody seems to be hating her. She's
Well,
getting
well,
nothing
it's a
bitchy
matter of
comments.
convenience at this
Well,
point.
I might be projecting.
Yeah. All right.
It was relaxing to sit with Angela. She was a restful kind of person to be around. She didn't feel the need to fill every silence with chatter. She left me free to think, undisturbed, while we
Who
ate.
can
Which
think?
means she didn't bother me at all.
Bella can think.
Apparently.
Real. She has the intelligence to think.
Well, she's been
I
doing
think-
it
I
so
think
far.
So we've made very clear your opinion on the protagonist's level of intelligence. Oh.
And I was
Mhm.
thinking about how to disjointedly time and fuck. Okay, just a second.
You were doing good.
And I was thinking about how disjointedly time seemed to flow in forks, passing in a blur at times, every single image standing out more clearly than the others. And then at other times, every second was significant, etched in my mind. I knew exactly what caused the difference, and it disturbed me.
No, I think that's the way it is everywhere. Like, for instance, no. During lunch, the clouds started to advance, slinking across the blue sky, darting in front of the sun, momentarily casting long shadows across the beach and blanketing the waves. As they finished eating, people started to drift away in twos and threes. Some walked down to the edge of the waves, trying to skip rocks across the choppy surface. Others were gathered, a second expedition to the tide pools. Mike, with Jessica shadowing him, headed up to one of his shop in the village. Some of the local kids went with others went along on the hike. By the time they had all scattered, I was sitting alone on my driftwood log with Lauren and Tyler occupying themselves by the CD player someone had thought to bring, and 3 teenagers from the reservation perched around the circle, including the boy named Jacob and the oldest boy who had acted as spokesperson.
A few minutes after Angela left with the hikers, Jacob sauntered over to take her place by my side. He looked 14, maybe 15, not smart enough to know, and had long, glossy black hair pulled down back with a sexy rubber band at the nape of his neck. His skin was beautiful, silky and russet colored. His eyes dark and sexy, set deep above the high planes of his cheekbones. Is he an alien?
He's a werewolf.
Yeah, I know.
I just realized that this is that guy.
Yeah.
I know who he is. I'm just
No, I think Zaf just realized who it was.
I just realized who he is.
Even though I made the werewolf joke.
Oh. Isn't Jacob supposed to be like an Asian kid or something?
No, he's a Native American.
I mean, his actor?
Oh, I don't know about his actor.
I think he was Polynesian.
Yeah, I know he's Native American. Oh,
they all look the same, don't they, Levi?
Ew.
I think Polynesians are from Hawaii and that area.
Yeah, that's Samoan.
And who are Polynesians?
From Polynesia?
They're from the Pacific somewhere.
Yeah, they're from Polynesia.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Please cut the part of my ignorance where I have
all right.
idea where the Polynesian people
bloopers.
Okay. All right. Oh, jeez. He still had just a hint of childish roundness left around his chin. Or slept off. Although,
he's got a baby chin.
However, my positive opinion of his looks, fuck you, was damaged by the first words out of his mouth, and your brain is going to be further damaged by this. I can't say that word on Cassie's show.
I'm not really sure why you're so angry at this moment in time. She's just an idiot.
Yeah.
We're getting sort of to the point where we've got it sort of set that Bella is not the brightest tool in the bunch, and that we keep pointing it out.
Yeah.
It's sort of like kicking the special ed kid, right?
It's called beating the dead horse.
Yeah.
Yes. No more.
The horse
in
is
this
dead.
case, the dead swan.
Yes.
She's not the swan and the 2 sisters. She's just not. And if people don't know what that is, that's a murder ballad. Look it up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're Isabella Swan, aren't you?
It was like the first day of school all over again.
Bella, I sighed.
I'm Jacob Black. He held out his hand in a friendly gesture. You bought my dad's truck, and now I want it back. Give it to me.
You bought my dad's truck, prepared to die.
You bought my dad's truck, and now you must die.
Oh,
I want it back. I was promised it on my birthday, you bitch.
He has a gambling problem.
Can I please read my line?
Yes, please.
Oh, I said relieved, shaking his sleek hand. You're Billy's son. I probably should remember you.
No, I'm the youngest of the family. You wouldn't remember, or you would remember my older sisters.
Rachel and Rebecca, I suddenly recalled. Charlie and Billy had thrown us together a lot during my visits to keep us busy while they fished. They
were fishing, were they? I think they might have been doing something else, friend.
fisting. Okay.
Mm.
We were all too shy to make much progress as friends. Of course, I'd kicked up enough tantrums to end the fishing trips by the time I was 11.
Because I was a dick.
Now you can go, Levi.
Are they here? I examined the girls at the Ocean's Edge, wondering if I would recognize them now.
No, Jacob shook his head. Rachel got a scholarship to Washington State. Rebecca married a Samoan surfer. She lives in Hawaii now.
See, I told you. Samoan from Hawaii. That's...
Yeah, I did not doubt you.
We will
Married.
look it up later, Zaf, just so we can know.
No. Married? Wow, I was stunned. The twins were only a little over a year older than I was.
So how do you like the truck, he asked?
I love it. It runs great.
Toyota.
Yeah, but it's really slow.
Ford strong to last long.
He laughed, so I was relieved when Charlie bought it. My dad wouldn't let me work on building another car when we had a perfectly good vehicle right there.
It's not that slow, I objected.
Have you ever tried going over city?
City?
City? You go over city?
Oh, I've done the accident. Have you ever tried going over 60? Is that better?
No, I didn't.
Do it again, Dave. Levi said no.
Have you tried going over 60?
Good. Don't. He grinned.
Sorry if anyone went deaf because of that.
I couldn't help grinning back. It does great in collisions. I offered my truck in my truck's defense.
I don't think
It does great in a collision. Yeah, I get into a lot of accidents.
Well, I am pretty dumb and special. I don't know where my cardigan is, but I'm sure we can find him somewhere.
I don't think a tank could take out that old monster, he agreed with another laugh.
So, you built cars? I asked. Impressed.
When I have free time and parts, you wouldn't happen to know where I could get my hands on a master cylinder for a 1986 Volkswagen Rabbit? He asked jokingly. He had a pleasant, husky voice for a 14-year-old.
Anywhere. Any fucking scrapyard, anywhere. Just saying.
Well,
I know
he is
Volkswagens.
joking, apparently.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's at Bella's expense because she's
Notice
a girl
that she said
and
he has
wouldn't
a
know cars
husky
or
voice.
what.
Why'd you flip your wrist at husky voice?
He's got a husky voice. He's a fucking werewolf.
Okay, yeah.
Wordplay. Clever. Good for you, Zap. Good for you.
LOL.
Sorry, I laughed. I haven't seen any lately. I'll keep my eye open for you. As if I knew what that was. He was very easy to talk with.
He flashed a brilliant smile, looking at me appreciatively in a way I learned to recognize I wasn't the only one who noticed.
You know Bella, Jacob? Lauren asked. Dash. In what I imagined was an insolent tone dash from across the fire.
We've sort of known each other since I was born. He laughed, smiling at me again.
How nice. She didn't sound like she thought it was nice at all, but her pale, fishy eyes narrowed.
Fishy eyes?
Well, they had been fishing.
Mm.
Maybe they caught this friend.
Oh, maybe she's from, what's that one H.P. Lovecraft story? Where they turn into, like, fish people?
The fish people one is called Shadow over Innsmouth.
Oh, okay.
Is that what the actual book is called?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have sort of lost my place thinking about Lovecraft.
Bella! She called again.
Thank you. Bella, she called again, watching my face carefully. I was just saying to Tyler that it was too bad none of the Cullens could come out today. Didn't anyone think to invite them? Her expression of concern was unconvincing.
Oh, I just to clarify, I looked it up. It is Shadow over Innsmouth. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
You mean Dr. Carsley Cullen's family? The tall, older boy asked before I could respond, much to Lauren's irritation.
Hold on. Sorry, Jacob is at the door.
All right, we'll
What's-
pause for a moment.
What is that?
It's Dave's dog barking. Someone's knocking on his door. Who's that knocking on his door?
Maybe they heard we
Who's
were
that
reading Twilight and
knocking
wanted
on
in.
his door? Who's that knocking on Dave's door? Said the David.
Maybe it's Hushicho. He's wanting to get some putang.
Hushicho opens the door. Open the door, you fucking whore! It's Hushicho the sailor.
Hi, Hushicho.
Shall we go off to the dance? Shall we go off to the dance? Shall we go off to the dance? Said the fair young maiden.
Said the fair young David. I actually don't remember the next verse. But,
Oh God!
it's something about dropping your pants and
To hell with the dance and down with the
to hell with your dance and down with your pants. Said Hushicho the sailor.
I think he's going
Anyway.
to come and kill us, Dave.
Yeah, okay. Is it my turn?
Was Levi still
I
reading?
didn't finish it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, he was really closer to a man than a boy, and his voice was very deep.
Yes.
know them?
Do you know them? She asked him condescendingly, turning
Mhm.
halfway toward him because she's an asshole.
The Cullens don't come here, he said with a tone that closed the subject, ignoring her question.
Tyler, trying to win back her attention, asked Lauren's opinion on a CD he held. She was distracted.
Because, shiny object!
Shiny object, yeah.
I take it this was written in 2003.
I don't know
I
when
s-
this was written. I want to say
No, I have no
before before
I am not-
Well, I've got
2007
the
at
book.
least.
I can see where it was published.
I am not interested enough to look it up.
I got Firefox closed, so I don't...
2005.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I stared at the deep-voiced boy because I can't think of anything else to describe him,
Not
not
the
even
way
his appearance. Taken aback.
She could have just said, I
Like,
stared at the Indian.
No,
Huh?
she could not have said that. No.
But he was
That's
looking
out. Go back to the trash can.
Well, he is a raccoon.
as far as we know.
I know everybody thinks that raccoon icon Zafford's using is cute, but it looks like cats look when they're licking their butt and they realize they've been licking their butt for a while.
Meow!
Dave is mean.
Burn!
Where the hell are we?
But he was looking away towards the dark forest behind us. He is trying to kill you. He said that the Cullens didn't come here, but his tone had implied something more. That they weren't allowed. They were prohibited.
Yes, that's what that means. You don't have to use another word.
No emphasis is needed. It's okay.
Yeah, his manner left a strange impression on me. And I tried to ignore it without success.
Jacob interrupted my meditation. So is Forks driving you insane yet?
Oh, I'd say that's an understatement.
Grimace.
Yeah, big purple dude. Oh, you changed your picture.
No, don't.
I like that one
He
Why?
grinned.
He changed.
I like the raccoon with his tongue out. It was adorable.
It still looks like that to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
His turn
That
was
was
it?
I think Zaffer, did you read?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he grimaced and
Oh, that's right. The
nothing
grimacing.
can kill the grimace.
Right. I was still turning over the brief comment on the Cullens, and I had sudden inspiration. It was a stupid plan, but I didn't have any better ideas. I hoped that young Jacob was as yet inexperienced around girls so that he wouldn't see through my sure-to-be pitiful attempts at flirting.
Oh, God.
Please don't.
It's too late.
It's too late, babe.
Do you want to walk down the beach with me? I asked. I wouldn't. Trying to imitate the way Edward had of looking up from underneath his sexy eyelashes. It couldn't have nearly the same effect, I was sure. But Jacob jumped up willingly and nah.
I'm sure he did. That werewolf cock and all. As we walked north across the multi-hued stones towards the driftwood sea wall, The clouds finally closed ranks across the sky, causing the sea to darken and the temperature to drop. I shoved my hands deep into the pockets of my jacket.
So you're what, 16? I asked, trying not to look like an idiot as I fluttered my eyelids the way I'd seen girls do on TV. So you're like, what, 15?
Excuse me. I just turned 15, he confused Twilight.
He confused?
He did, I was confused. He confessed flatter.
Really? My face was full of false surprise, because everyone wants to masturbate.
I'm quite fond of it.
I would have thought you were older.
I'm tall for my age, he explained.
Do you come to the Forks much? I asked
The
Archly?
Forks?
Well, there's only one fork, so yes, I suppose that's right.
As if I was hoping for a yes. I sounded idiotic to myself. I was afraid he would turn on me with disgust or accuse me of my fraud. But he still seemed flattered.
Not too much, he admitted with a frown, but when I get my car finished, I can go up as much as I want, after I get my license, he amended.
Who's that other boy Lauren was talking to? He seemed a little too old to be hanging out with us. I purposely lumped myself in the two youngsters, trying to make it clear that I prefer Jacob.
That's Sam. He's 19, he informed me.
What was that he was saying about the doctor's family? I asked innocently.
And the Cullens, oh, they're not supposed to come onto the reservation. He looked away, out towards James Island, and he confirmed what I thought I'd heard in Sam's voice.
Why not?
He glanced back at me, biting his lips. Oops, I'm not supposed to say anything about that.
Oh, I won't tell anyone. I'm just curious. I tried to make my smile alluring, wondering if I was laying it on too thick.
He smiled back, though looking allured. Then he lifted one eyebrow, and his voice was even huskier than before.
Do you like scary stories? He asked ominously.
I love them. I enthused, making an effort to smolder at him.
Jacob strolled to a nearby driftwood tree that had its roots sticking out, like the...
Attenuated.
Attenuated legs of a huge pale spider.
It's like a spider.
He perched lightly on one of the twisted roots while I sat beneath him on the body of the tree. He stared down at the rocks, a smile hovering around the edges of his broad lips. I could see he was going to try to make this good. I focused on keeping the vital interest I felt out of my eyes.
He began to sing, "Well, the bunyip's very nasty." And do you know any of our old stories about where we came from? The Quaaludes, I mean.
The Quaaludes.
Not really, I admitted.
Well, there are lots of legends, some of them claiming to date back to the flood. Supposedly the ancient Quaaludes tied their canoes to the tops of the tallest
just
trees.
went along on top of naked people.
Their canoes to the tops of the tallest trees on the mountain to survive, like Noah and the ark. He smiled to show me how little stock he put in the histories. Another legend claims that we descended from wolves, and that the wolves are our brothers still. It's against tribal law to kill them. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing.
And then there's all the stories about the cold ones. His voice dropped a little lower.
The cold ones, I asked, not faking my intrigue now.
Yes, there are stories of the cold ones, as the wolf legends, and some much more recent. According to legend, my own great-grandfather knew some of them. He was the one who made the treaty that kept them off our land. He rolled his eyes.
Your great-grandfather? I encouraged.
He was a tribal leader.
Elder.
Nope.
Elder, sorry.
Yep.
A tribal elder like my father. You see, the cold ones are the natural enemies of the wolf. Well, not the wolf really, but the wolves that turn into men, like our ancestors. You would probably call them werewolves.
Werewolves have enemies.
Enemies.
Enemies. They have enemies. People they fight with. People who don't like them. Like me.
You don't like werewolves? Oh, what a dick.
Well, I was going to say, if Jacob doesn't like werewolves, then he's in the wrong place.
Only one!
I stared at him earnestly, hoping to disguise my impatience as admiration.
So you see, Jacob continued, the old ones are traditionally our enemies. Or the cold ones, sorry. I'm thinking of H.P. Lovecraft.
You're good. Yeah.
The cold ones are traditionally our enemies. But this pack that came to our territory during my great-grandfather's time were different. They didn't hunt the way the others of their kind did. They weren't supposed to be dangerous to the tribe, so my great-grandfather made a truce with them. If they were promised to stay off our lands, we wouldn't expose them to the pale-faces.
Wow, super racist.
Yeah, I'm a paleface. I have been since birth.
Same here.
I can't do anything about it. Damn my white skin.
And lack of ass.
Oh no, there's no ass either. I've been eating and my ass won't get bigger. How am I gonna get my junk in the trunk? Where will my twerking career go from here? If they weren't dangerous, then why? I tried to understand, struggling not to let him see how seriously I was considering his ghost story.
His gauche story.
His gauche story.
Gauche.
There's always a risk for humans to be around the cold ones, even if they're civilized like this planet. You never know when they might get too hungry to resist. He deliberately worked the thick edge of menace into his tone, because can't figure that out on our own, can't we, guys?
Okay.
What do you mean civilized?
They claimed they didn't hunt humans. They supposedly were somehow able to prey on animals instead.
I tried to keep my voice casual. So how does it fit in with the Cullens? Are they like the cold ones your great-grandfather met?
No. He paused dramatically. They are the same ones.
Oh no!
And,
He must have thought the expression on my face was fear inspired by the story. He smiled, pleased, and continued.
He must have thought the expression on my face was
Zach.
Oh, yep, you're right. Yep. There are more of them now. A new female and a new male, but the rest are the same. In my great-grandfather's time, they already knew of the leader, what's that name?
Cough drop.
Carlisle? Carlisle.
Yeah.
No,
It's something like Carlisle.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, Carlisle.
Well,
He'd been here and gone before your people had even arrived. He was fighting a smile. What do you mean, your people?
what do you think I mean? What do you think you think? What do you think you guys? They're my people. Fuck. And what are they? I finally asked. What are the cold ones?
He smiled darkly.
Blood drinkers, he replied in a chilling voice. Your people call them vampires.
I stared down at the roof of the surf after he answered, not sure what my face was exposing.
You're a good storyteller, I complimented him, like a condescending prick, still staring into the waves.
No, she's not condescending him, she's complimenting him.
Condescending. I know she's just buttering him up, but I don't know the.
Yeah, she was.
Condescending.
I don't know, I felt like she was being sarcastic.
Okay.
Pretty crazy stuff, though, isn't it? No wonder my dad doesn't want us to talk about it to anyone.
I couldn't control my expression enough to look at him yet. Don't worry, I won't give you away.
I guess I just violated the treaty, he laughed.
I'll take it to the grave, because I think you I promised. And then I shivered.
Seriously, though, don't say anything to Charlie. He was pretty mad at my dad when he heard that some of us weren't going to the hospital since Dr. Colin started working there.
I won't. Of course not.
So, do you think we're a bunch of superstitious natives or what? He
Stop
asked,
singing.
Levi,
with
please
with
stop.
a hint of worry.
I'm sorry.
I
Dave, you
still
gotta go
haven't looked
again.
away from the ocean.
Gotta go
What?
again, Dave.
There we go again. Okay. So do you think we're a bunch of superstitious natives or what? He asked in playful tone, but with a hint of worry. I still hadn't looked away from the ocean.
I turned and smiled at him as normally as I could.
No, I think you're very good at telling scary stories, though. I still have goosebumps. See, I held up my arm.
Cool! He smiled.
And then the sound of the beach rocks clattering against each other warned us that someone was approaching. Our heads snapped up at the same time to see Mike and Jessica about 50 yards away walking towards us.
There you are, Bella, Mike called in relief, waving his arm over his head.
Is that your boyfriend? Jacob asked, alerted by the jealous edge in Mike's voice. I was surprised it was so obvious.
No, definitely not, I whispered. I was tremendously grateful to Jacob and eager to make him as happy as possible. I winked at him, carefully turning away from him to Mike to do so. He smiled, elated by my inept flirting.
So when I get my license, he began.
You should come see me in Forks. We could hang out sometime. I felt guilty as I said this, knowing that I'd used him. But I really did like Jacob. He was someone I could easily be friends with.
After I wringed out all the information I needed from him.
Friend-zoned.
Mike had reached us now, with Jessica still a few paces back. I could see his eyes appraising Jacob, and looking satisfied at his obvious youth.
Where have you been? He asked.
Obvious.
The answer was right in front of him.
Yes.
Jacob was just telling me some local stories. I volunteered. It was really interesting.
I smiled at Jacob warmly, and he grinned back.
Well, Mike paused, carefully reassessing the situation as he watched our
Camaraderie.
Thank you, camaraderie.
Yeah, that's the word.
We're packing up. It looks like it's going to rain soon.
Uh-oh. We all looked up at the glowing sky. It certainly did look like rain.
Okay.
I'm sorry, is that glowering? Glowering sky.
Okay, I jumped up. I'm coming all over the wall.
I'm coming.
It's like a fire hose.
I know, right? It's just everywhere now.
Sprays.
It's like Spider-Man
Takes off like a
lost
balloon.
himself.
Actually, that'd be pretty funny. I'm sorry.
Up and away.
That was unexpected. It sure was.
It was nice to see you again, Jacob said. I could tell he was talking to Mike a bit.
It really was. Next time Charlie comes down to see Billy, I'll come too, I promise.
His grin stretched across his face. That'd be cool. And thanks, I added earnestly.
Because you read Dave's line?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, on my page, they were all one line.
Oh, alright.
I pulled up my hood as we trampled across the rocks toward the parking lot. A few drops were beginning to fall, making black spots on the stones where they had landed. When we got to the Suburban, the others were already loading everything back in. I crawled into the back seat by Angela and Tyler, announcing that I'd already had my turn in the shotgun position. Angela just stared out the window at the escalating storm, and Lauren twisted around in the middle seat to occupy Tyler's attention. So I could simply lay my head back on the seat, close my eyes, and try very hard not to think.
Yay! It's over!
Chapter 7, Nightmare. I told Charlie I had a lot of homework to do.
No, Dave, no, shut up. Shut
There
up,
was a
nobody
basketball
cares,
game on.
nobody cares. I'll kill you, Dave, I'll kill you.
Make it stop.
Enough!
Mommy and Daddy are fighting again.
I'm the one who wears the pants in this family. So, this story so far.
I didn't mind this chapter as much as the last two.
How did this get published?
It's just really boring because nothing happened except we finally met Jacob and...
Yeah, we met Jacob and he pretty much gave away his whole backstory.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm a werewolf. We don't like vampires. There you are.
Hey, I just met you, but I'm a werewolf. I just met you. Dun, dun,
What?
dun, and this is crazy. Dun, 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 but I'm a werewolf.
Yeah.
Dun.
I do like that that the reason she's able to, like, get this out of him is, like, he's 16 and he's like, ooh, girl, I want to impress her. And I'm like, okay, maybe a kid would, but again, he should know how serious this is, being the fact that he's in the know.
Yeah, he gave it away pretty fast, considering
they young girls everywhere. Your tits will get you whatever you want.
Pretty much, yeah.
They still work on me.
Dave, what do you think about the story?
This chapter was not as bad. It was dull, not much happened, but at least there was some world building in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it wasn't 10 pages of, oh my gosh, I pricked my finger on a pin. Somebody carry me, please.
Levi?
Let's just say some of the bad fanfictions we've read, I like better than this.
I think we can, because the bad fanfic had more character than Bella or this story has.
What I have wrong with this is Stephanie Meyer's continuous assumption that we don't know what she's trying to illustrate to us.
Well, I think that comes from the fact that she doesn't know how to write. And
I think she does, and I think what happened in this chapter was that she really didn't have enough to fill the chapter, so she just described, like, the most unimportant shit.
But see, here's the thing. You don't put padding in a story. If you have nothing to put there, move on to the next part of the story.
Like, look at it this way. We're on chapter 6, and so far about 80% of this book has been padding. Like, honestly, like, of the story, how much of the story have we actually had?
Yeah, I mean, by the time that we get this revelation, they're vampires and werewolves and shit, it should have been in chapter 3. We should have already been there and done that.
To be completely fair with Mrs. Myers, this is a trend in current fiction where there's a lot of padding and they want to fill out.
Yeah, but
every
see,
book has to be
who
like
started this kind of
I'm
crap?
not gonna
Stephen
fault
King
her for that.
I haven't read Stephen King, so I can't say anything bad against him.
Because, it's not even Stephen King. It goes way back. Like, look at the old movies, the science fiction movies from the 60s and the 50s. Like, they're nothing but padding. Like, it's literally, like, the movie is a bunch of guys in a room
then
talking.
They didn't have anything else.
So, how did this get published anyways?
I think it was like self-published, wasn't it?
Was it self-published?
I think we talked about this earlier, but I think she had her friend publish it for her.
That might, yeah.
So she knew somebody who could get it done.
It was an inside job.
Yeah.
And that friend is probably sitting fucking rich now because guess what? It took off. Yeah.
The book is still shit, and nothing is really happening, which is kind of what we expected. Bye!
Yeah, bye, everyone.
See ya.